stay up there. You know what I mean? So, in understanding, even strengthening your bandhas, we're talking about, we're going to give some yoga argument this class. You want to be able to understand the psychological aspects of that part. You know what I mean? So, if you're working on your root chakra and that chakra bandha, the things that affect you that are fear-based are going to be the aspects that you have to work on in mastering that part of yourself. And that's very personal. Other than that, the principles is what is here to help. Even if you're pre-Ma'at, you can't really contextualize Ma'at and it will turn into some church blood club business if you don't deal with Tehuti. You know what I mean? So in the unfolding of the 7 principles, you're supposed to understand reciprocity, which is basically your whole fucking sense of safety. Root chakra business, that again, Ma'at work where? In creation. Where your job? In the shit. You know what I mean? So you use the 7 principles to understand even, what I say? Use the law to interpret the laws. You know what I mean? And that is where you will place yourself in a point where you can be at that crown point and stay there.
Ma'at is application of wisdom. What is Ma'at?
Ma'at is a system of reciprocity that boils down in what you could have commonly look on like the 10 Commandments. You don't covet your brother wife, you don't thief your brethren things. Everything you do to your family member, we're telling them to do. Everything you do to your friend them and the people them who you love. Yeah. The one that burn you when you hear it. So that is Ma'at.
What can we do? What can we do?
Tehuti now are the laws that operate those laws. The laws beyond those laws, the 7 laws. Tehuti now, well, alright. Great. I mean, like I said, I'll go this way. I'm going to check my notes and see how far I've gone so far. Alright, because we're going into archetype, right? And that gone into mind. And that gone into where we live in or where we should be going as far as mental gender. Because we're looking at this, we look at the physical, the social aspects of gender. We want to look at the mental aspects of gender. What are the creative principles behind the way that we think? How are those correspondences working to create our daily life, our reality? And how are we using the principle that we just discussed before that?
Gender, polarity.
The one that was just before this one, man. Come on, guys.
Causation.
Yes, how it works out in terms of causation. You know what I mean? When you look at the understanding of how you mentally create and mentally how much is happening based on that, then it really puts into context the cause and the effect of shit. You know what I mean? How does the principle of gender operate on a mental level? Give me something. Because you guys seem like you're right here with
creation. Coming up with an idea and then
ideas
and the
manifestation.
Of it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Who usually have the idea and who usually manifest it? Remember, I said usually, you know, because it isn't, right? So, yeah. We're just making a general social observation.
The person.
Gender-wise.
Oh, gender-wise. Oh. Who normally?
Yeah, me just a test you because you know say it's all a half truth, so I want to see who not going to tell me how much it's socially defined. Who have the idea?
I would say the men have the idea because
and who created the process?
societally men are the ones who are designing, or they are the scholars, they are the intellectual ones. Maybe the woman is more the one that actually.
Who conceives more naturally?
Well, I mean, if you look at it as in a sexual way, you know what I
In a
mean?
sexual way, but I mean,
I would think the woman have the idea.
I think so too, generally.
I think,
It
I think,
work both ways. Because remember, saying who is man and who is the man and who is the woman.
yeah.
Sometimes you look one two lesbian and ask you, which one is man? You know what I mean? Who is the man and who is the woman? We're all fucking androgynous, right? So that is why we say, which one's supposed to be associated with that? And you make a key observation, because even principally when you look at the operation of the negative and positive, and you plug the electricity in, you plug the hydrogen and it manifests.
Yeah.
But look how the thing fuck up now. Who is at home and who is bringing in the bread in society?
Well, the woman is the woman.
We may talk general, we may talk archetypes now. So, you know what I mean? We more and see what's resonating.
No.
Generally.
Women are normally at home and men are normally doing
Generally, that is institutionally accepted.
Yeah. Institutionally.
And institutionally enforced. Because right now, Hillary and Bernie are fight over who want big up woman the most. You know what I mean? One I say she have a pum pum, and the next one I say yo equality. Right? So just the fact that that is an argument will show you how that polarity play out on that level. Now if we're saying that basically creativity in terms of manifesting is a female aspect, how can the man be the breadwinner?
Assuming that there was any
Because the man came up with the idea.
Yeah.
So he himself in a place of power.
Why? There you go. That is socially driven, politically defined. You know what I mean? Who was the first man to tell to tell us, say, yo, you know, do my definition and fuck the rich. Don't go over there, sir. Just do my one.
Yeah.
You know, who's the first man who do that? You know what I mean? And before that, well, you know what I mean? Why was it that they always went to the woman first? Before that?
I want first man though, so I can feel like I want a system thing.
Everything is a system, that's the point. We create the systems. We are the creators of this reality. So the system that you define is the system that you live. Which is basically bringing us now to the argument, deeper into the argument of gender. And principally, we can look at gender in terms of mental transmutation, just to enable us to put ourselves in the driver's seat of the thing. So mental transmutation, we talk about a couple of different things man use to change their mind. Writing. You did say writing, but publicly. Public writing. Can people witness that? Alright? Mental transmutation, because basically you're changing the minds around you. The collective mindset is changing, which will accommodate the change that your mind is having. You're communicating to people where you want the mental thought form to go. So you write the email, you CC everybody on it, and you say, yo, you know what, said that brother I post it. You know what I mean? Look on all of these different things that this man I wanted. How you feel about that? And then everybody know now, and you create a thought form. Right? But just in as much as you can do that to liberate yourself, you can do that to fuck somebody, which was my point in the last class. That you have to understand what kind of magic you work. In the understanding of the other principle that we say, you know what I mean, cause and effect is going on all the time. So everything you do is a ritual. The fact that me pick this flower and I play with the baby, with the flower, and all of them things they have symbolic meaning. And that is basically the means of how we communicate with our Akasha, our ancestor, our ancestral energy. You know what I mean? Through the symbolism that we play out every day in the little small things that cause these great effects. So understanding that everything that you do is a ritual. You have no choice but to really accept the fact that you're creating reality by even just opening your eye and blinking it.
So even the ritualistic aspect of life is that will come under the law of correspondence.
Every law, but I can tell you, when people start work rituals from people are polarity, they're mostly free. Because when you look on polarity, you know, say, the thing that is done unto you is and isn't. Right? So you swing the pendulum the other way to catch the person who commit the offense then, you know what I mean? And in creating a thought form that can accommodate the swing of the pendulum and pushing it out there, you basically use mental transmutation to do black magic, which is, you know what I mean, we do it every day to a brother and sister. Is that like a bad fucking thing? It's just the operating of the science and knowing that somebody have to fucking pay because of the law of reciprocal compensation. You know what I mean? So when you really sit down and read the thing differently, and you have an understanding that, boy, these different things are created in your mind. You have to kind of look at the gender of your mind. Now, in your mind, you have your conscious mind, and you have your subconscious mind. Both become the true mind, because like and unlike are the same in operation of the truth, the absolute truth, right? So when you look at now the polarities within your own mind and say, well, your male aspects are your conscious mind, and your female aspects, your creative aspects, what generate, operate, and destroy, is your female mind. So you know what I mean? But now you tap into your feminine side. If you're a man, and if you're a woman, you're supposed to know, so you don't have it already. Or work on the other side of things if it's necessary. Why not that one?
So you walk on and also when you said that a while ago. It's to tap into your feminine side, or the woman must tap into whatever is the masculine side too. But the socialization to stop people from doing them things, which I guess is fear.
That is basically.
Because a man in our society who supposed to operate at a certain way based on what's happening with him. In afraid. I'm afraid saying Brendan say soft. And the woman too now, she sometimes she needs to be assertive, but she too afraid them
she's too aggressive. Alright, so all of the things that we just encapsulate in even just that piece of what you are saying. You know what I mean? Because we say fear, root chakra, safety, operating out of fear. We say social thought form, illusion. Man could never be the breadwinner if he is not the manifester. If he's just the generator of the idea, the manifester is the one that actually creates the bread. You know what I mean? So based on that, now you see society doesn't breed some robot, you know. You know what I mean? But it comes as a part of a thought form that you have to accept for it to operate in your life, which going to lead me right down the road to dealing more with the subconscious and the conscious mind. Talk and I'm getting that.
You said something that just struck me big time. It was a very small thing you said. You're speaking about society forcing us to think in a certain way. But aren't we learning these laws in order to overcome or to liberate the influence of the society?
Same thing with my
No, because we're talking about society, we know how to balance how.
They have to be aware.
Yes, that is right there.
We have to escape them things. So his detachment is detaching from all of
persons who don't want to be.
Well, here's the thing now, really and truly, when you break it down principally, detachment is from the polarity.
Consciousness.
You know, say this side and this side become the truth. So you have to love the two of them. And and the amount of love you show is how far you swing yourself on the pendulum. So we say impersonal, that is also a pendulum swing. What is the counteraction to that that's going to balance it out? Compassion.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to know and dance like how the Ida and the Pingala dance go. When to be impersonal and when to be compassionate.
Don't forget
You know what I mean?
there's a middle channel called a Susumna.
That's right. And then that is the one of a zero. You know, that is what them change they want to do and then
That's everything.
right, well, it's in the railroad like a ball, right?
I don't know. A whole heap of stuff.
I don't know much about you know, chemical studies and whatnot, but my understanding of my answer is exactly what you just said. When to use the knowledge or the information that you have at an appropriate time.
Well, that is basically the definition of reciprocity within the context of a social setting. Basically, what determines your morals is after you belch, you say excuse me, or you say excuse me before you belch. That means the older.
It's natural say, okay, I'm not going to say excuse me before I comply. We just pop out anytime.
It will come out with the excuse me. Same time you can belch excuse me.
You can.
Me used to do that when I was 14.
Excuse
So
me.
you can't do it right now, no family. But either way still, you know what I mean? When you look at now the mind as far as the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, and their dual principalities as far as male and female, the corresponding dynamic is that your conscious mind operates by perceiving the reality that your subconscious mind creates. So understanding that from even the perspective of mind is all. Both then become the all. What we tend to be victims of is a separation of the two, and that is separated by mental processes, means of thinking, how people are socialized, how people have agreed to come here to think. Right? So in this time we can see a great awakening, all heap of people are doing, and first me, I would have even imagined say a yoga student there, I think so. You know what I mean? The different kind of conscious start awakening now, which is in the reason why I'm saying,